Right. Hi everyone.
Hi there.
We're here with the magnificent Sue Gray. I know all of you guys have been following her and know her wonderful, wonderful work that she's been doing fighting for freedom for New Zealand, which is really awesome. So how was the court case this morning and the last couple of days? How's it been for you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's been a massive couple of days. We finished around lunchtime today, and look, the judge listened. He said at the end he enjoyed the case. He seems to have been really taking a lot of attention of what we've been saying. We're really happy with the way it went. Obviously, we don't know the outcome yet. The judge has reserved his decision. He's promised to give us a decision as soon as he possibly can. He's asked the Crown to answer some of the other information that's been put in about the transmissibility of the Delta, the effect of the vaccine on the transmissibility of the Delta virus because the Delta variant, because what seems to be coming out is the Crown has sort of fudged a few issues, and we've exposed in court that it's not nearly as clear as what they say. So they've got the minister saying it's safe and effective, and we're absolutely confident it's safe and effective, but we've got their own witnesses not saying that, their own witnesses being much more careful about what they're saying and saying, well, actually, we don't really know. So the judge has asked them to explain.
Yeah, awesome. That's amazing.
Or given them an opportunity to explain, I should say. Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking questions about you and about what your perspective is on the traffic light situation that Jacinda's announced this morning. What do you think about that?
Well, look, I haven't had a good look at it yet, but I just think it's absolutely outrageous that while we were in court arguing about whether the infringements of the Bill of Rights were justified for the no jab, no job law, the government were coming out with a whole lot more restrictions than even what we'd envisaged before. And they've actually admitted that they're doing it to punish people. It's not for health reasons, it's not for anything else, it's for punishment. This is just outrageous. It's a real divide and conquer thing, whereas surely what we should be doing is working together to create the best possible outcome we can for everybody. This idea of divide and conquer, I just don't get it at all.
Yeah, and with the people that are at home, what would you tell them to do? Like from here, people that are scared, I know a lot of people are saying, do I resign? Do I leave?
No.
What do I do? What would you say?
Okay, do not resign. Like at the moment, as much as I can tell, there is no law saying there's any restriction on health workers, education employees or on corrections workers. It's just something the government's announced. And one of the things we talked about in court is this old case Fitzgerald and Muldoon, when Muldoon was the Prime Minister and he used to make these laws by decree without actually properly making laws. Yep. And this is exactly what this current government has done. They keep telling us what the law is going to be and expecting people to do things, and people are getting all these letters from their employers. But I tell you what, a lot of people are fighting back, and there's a long way to go yet before they can force through these laws. So don't resign. Ask for information while you're still working. Get the most information you can from your boss. Ask for the health and safety plan. Ask for all of the information you can possibly get. Now, when you look at your health and safety plan, most employers don't even have one, or if they do have one, it sort of says, oh, COVID is dangerous, the vaccine will save you, you must be jabbed. Now, that is not a health and safety plan, and that is one of the things we've been talking about in court, is a risk-benefit analysis. You've got to look at the risks and the benefits. You can't just choose one side and pick one thing and gloss over the problem. You've actually got to look at the risks of the vaccine and whether it actually achieves what it's supposed to achieve. It basically is looking like a red herring. It doesn't actually seem to prevent transmission at all, and any benefit it might have on how sick you get is short-lived. And potentially, once that's worn off, you can get a worse outcome than if you hadn't had it at all. So these are all the kind of things that we're saying that need to be considered. You don't just do what you're told. Make your own inquiries. Don't believe me. Go and do your own research. There's a lot of good stuff on MedSafe, which is the government's own regulatory agency, and the government aren't even following that. They're just doing their own thing.
What do you think, after seeing the government change legislation and do what they want, what do you think the outcome could be like for this government in the history books? How do you think history is going to remember them?
The government that destroyed or the government that tried to destroy the New Zealand culture, the government that made the people step up and fight back and take back rights and democracy and actually show the government that their job is to represent us and not just do what they want to do themselves, because that is not what they're there for.
Yeah, I know you've talked about other court cases that you're wanting to do. What are some of the other ones that you see coming out, and who would you like to be involved in those?
The next one we're looking at is a case involving as many people as possible. We're just working out how best to do it, but we're working with as many of the different freedom groups as we can so that everybody can get involved. And if you've been affected by these laws, if you've been locked down unreasonably, if it's affected your mental health, if it's affected you from having a tangi or a funeral, if it's affected you from seeing your family, anything that they've done, destroyed your business, put your mortgage at risk, your home at risk, anything you've done, what we want to do is set up ways that you can connect in, and we'll put people in categories depending on their concerns, and then we want to do the biggest court case they've ever seen. We want the people to step up and tell the government what they really think about this, and tell the court, ask the court to tell us whether it's lawful and reasonable what the government's doing. So that's what we're looking at. There's a huge momentum to do this. There's quite a few other things behind the scenes as well. We've got an amazing network. It's just absolutely brilliant how people are finding different niches. You're doing your amazing work here. The scientists are stepping up, the doctors are stepping up, the international experts are stepping up, the lawyers are stepping up. We had a great team that just came forward to help in this case. It's like so exciting having a whole team and not just doing it by myself. The protest groups outside court, everybody's finding a niche of what they can do, and that's just amazing watching it all in action, how it's happening. We're going to need help with the IT and the data, just managing the public interest in doing the next round, so we'll be putting out a call for help with some of these things, but that's where we're heading. We've just got to make sure, if they're not going to listen to us when we ask them nicely, they're going to have to listen to us when we ask them not so nicely, or when we shout a bit louder and make a bit more of a fuss, because it's not okay what's been going on.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been quite a few comments as we've been going, people saying, what can I do? What can me as an individual do? I don't feel like I can do that much. Look at what your core strengths are. So you may be great at marketing, or you may be great at just organizing people, or you may be great at making signs, or you may be great just at turning up and volunteering your time and being a body and being a presence. All of these things are so important. Other ways you can help, you can donate to Sue Gray, you can donate to places like VFF, you can donate to like the Freedom and Rights Coalition, you can pledge even just even $5 a week. Pick out some of the major people that you'd like to support and pledge that on a weekly basis is a huge help. If you can donate large sums, I mean, anything is helpful at this point, because it is a battle. It's a real uphill battle, and we're all just people that are just doing our best and trying to do whatever we can to implement change here in New Zealand, and I know you guys all feel the same way. So if you're at home, speak up, and speak up louder. I know a lot of friends, like, they talk to me about it, like, oh, I'm really scared, like, I agree, but I'm scared to say anything because people will be upset at me. And I'm like, they might be. But at the same time, say you've got a whole other group of friends that do agree with you, and they're never going to know, and you guys are never going to connect, and you're never going to be able to build that community that you need to empower yourself and to empower others to create change, because you're not speaking up and you're not putting forward your truth. And I think it's really important that we actually say what our values are, and we hold to what our values are, because history books, they're defined by what your values are and by what you've stood for. So you know what? We could all cark it tomorrow. We don't know. You don't know how your life is going to pan out, but you do know that you probably want to be remembered for standing up for what you believe in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amazing thing is that once you step up and you make a stand on something, other people get attracted and come and support you. So you find your community. And that's one of the greatest things that's happened here. We've found the best friends and connections all around the country and all around the world because people who are stepping up. And even the smallest thing creates a ripple that connects. It makes a ripple for somebody else. It gives somebody else a bit of courage. It gives somebody else the idea. They see one thing, they build on that, they build on that, they build on that. There's so many things that you can do. Never ever feel that you're too small to make a difference. It all adds up. And it's creating this great energy and power. You feel like you hardly need to sleep anymore because there's just so much good energy coming from everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I know personally, my mental health, it's difficult when you go and you put yourself up against all of this and you start getting people giving you stress. Like, it can be really tiring and it can be hard, but if you unite with people and if you actually share common values, you find a bigger strength in community, and you can reach out to your community and they're going to be there for you because everyone understands how it feels. We do. We know what it's like. October 30th, the Freedom and Rights Coalition are organising, I don't know if it's a rally or if it's a picnic, but it's something just really cool for people just to meet and gather and have a bit of community, which I think is so important right now, and it allows you to meet other like-minded people. So I would really recommend jumping on board with them as well.
Yeah, it's great to get involved in what's happening. All the different freedom groups are joining together because what we're all realising is we don't all have to agree on everything, but we do all agree on freedom. And if we don't have freedom, we've got nothing. So, and it's actually quite cool to see that people have got different ideas, but they still got a lot in common. And, let's look for what we've got in common. Let's not worry about having different ideas. Let's celebrate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're wearing today, I don't know if you guys can see, we're wearing our little green bands, ribbons, and anyone can make this. I mean, you can just find whatever you've got that's green at home or buy something green, but these are our little freedom and unity ribbons because the government can try to divide people, but whether you're pro-vax or not vax or whatever you're pro and against, it doesn't matter as long as us as people are united for freedom and united in the fact that we actually want to care about each other and we want the best outcomes possible. So thanks guys, you're awesome. I think the phone's about to die. We're going to go